If you're still using the standard DualSense PS5 controller to play first-person shooter games, let me break it to you guys, you're in a big disadvantage. In this video, I'm going to explain and show you how you can install your own 4-paddle kit from Extreme Raid to give you extreme movement and an edge on your competition. Now, don't get me wrong, the DualSense is a great controller, but for first-person shooter games, you need very fast reaction time, especially when the time to kill is so quick. One slip of a button or the time it takes you to maneuver your finger across the gamepad can end up in a 1v1 loss. In this video, I'm going to go over the benefits of using a controller with 4 paddles and show you some of my gameplay comparison versus the standard controller. Make sure you stay to the end of the video because I'm going to do a tutorial on how you can install your own Extreme Raid paddle kit. And the best part is it's under 50 bucks compared to the Pro controllers that are in the range of $200 to $300. If you want to purchase one, just click on the description below and you'll find my affiliated Amazon link. If you notice, most of the streamers or the pros use 3 different methods for controls, and it's not a standard controller. It's either the claw grip, keyboard, or the Pro controller with paddles. The keyboard was the original method for playing first-person shooter games. You get no stick drift and the longer longevity because the keys are meant to be smashed numerous times. I remember in college I was playing Counter-Strike with the keyboard and mouse. You could use the hotkeys for easier and quicker button combination, and the mouse movement allowed for greater precision and headshots. You're able to move the cursor much quicker with the mouse, and that's why for consoles they have aim assist, which helps counterbalance the keyboard and mouse gameplay. But still, in my opinion, standard console controllers are meant for standard games such as RPG or fighting games. That's why they have elite version controllers with customized buttons that can be remapped to the back paddles for first-person shooter games. The claw is an interesting playing method. I've tried it, but there's no way I could get used to it. Basically, you're using these fingers to control the 4 buttons and keeping the thumbs on the joystick and these fingers on the triggers. This allows for full access of the controller without removing your fingers from their designated location. Pro controllers and controllers with paddles allow you to remap buttons to the back paddles. These 4 buttons I remap to the 4 back paddles. In doing so, it allows my right thumb, which I would use to access the triangle, circle, X, and the square, to consistently stay on the right analog stick, which is the most crucial position on the controller since it controls the aiming direction. So there is a slight learning curve, and it takes a little bit of gameplay of using the paddles for the muscle memory to kick in. If I was in a 1v1 and I wanted to do a quick jump shot, I would have to take my finger off my right thumbstick, push jump, then go back to the right thumbstick and try to aim. Now that's a disadvantage. If someone is using the paddles, they could do a quick jump shot with the same button combination at the same time. So watching some of my gameplay while using the Rise 4 paddles, you can see my thumbs rarely leave their position from the joysticks. This allows for better controlling, centering, opening crates, switching weapons, reloading, and so on. The slide cancels are definitely smoother and you'll have better control overall on your movement. Also to mention, centering is a very important part of the game, and using this controller you'll notice your centering is much better since your thumbs are not leaving the joysticks. So now I'll show you how to install these paddles on your current controller. As I said before, go in the description, hit that link, get your kit. Once you have it on hand, just follow these instructions. So out of the box, we get the back case for the controller, we get the paddles, necessary ribbon cables, and the screwdriver and priming tools and the tools. We remove the black casing that's going to expose the 2 little screws that we unscrew. Then we remove the L1 and R1 button and unscrew 2 more little screws. After that, we take out these clips to open the controller. After we open the controller, we're going to remove the battery, unscrew this little case, and take out the ribbon cables. The following few ribbon cables that we're going to need to remove. Just be careful with these ones, they're kind of hard to get. And the top one. Next, we're going to take off the PCB board, not take it off, but put it there, and that's going to expose the model number of the controller. We'll use that piece of paper to make the necessary cuts of the ribbon cables that are provided, and then we could line it up to this paper here to make sure we make the necessary cuts. Then we take this long ribbon cables, insert the 2 pins on the controller, put back the motherboard, and now we could put back these ribbon cables. Now these are the ribbon cables that came with the controller. We're going to just insert it just like that. Make sure that you push it in really hard so they don't come loose while you play or throw your controller for any reason. Next, we're going to make the necessary foldings for this ribbon cable and insert it back into the controller this way. Next, we're going to put in that casing and make sure your ribbon cables and all the wires are removed and put back into place, especially that little microphone. After you've done that, you're going to screw back the casing, put back the battery, peel that sticker off from that ribbon cable and place it on top of the battery like this. We're going to insert those little ribbon cables into these pins. And next we're going to connect that little PCB board on the back of the controller. Once it's locked in, you want to close that lid so it doesn't come out. And we're going to install our little paddles to the back of the controller and insert that little PCB board right in place there. It's a snap in. Once it's snapped in, you want to screw it with the 2 screws that are provided. And we're going to assemble the back casing. We're going to put the LED light in there, the power button, and we're going to gently insert those paddles and with the other one as well. Now to put it in, you want to hold it at an angle, put the bottom in first, and then snap it on. And it should click in right when it fits. And once it fits, you should be able to hear this clicking. Now to power the paddles, we're going to turn it on until the red light comes on. And simply we're going to hold the paddle and the button we want to map for about 2 seconds until it starts to blink. Once it blinks, that means that button is mapped, and we're going to do the same process to the rest of the buttons. And once all your buttons are mapped, you could turn it off and you're good to go. I highly recommend the paddles in your controller. Make sure you guys go out and get them. It's going to improve your movement. It's going to improve your KD. And you're just going to be an overall better player and compete with most of the other people that are not using the standard controllers. It took me some time to figure this out, so that's why I'm sharing this with you. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you next time.